Our good friend from HBCU Gameday, Stephen Gaither, joins us right now. He broke the story last weekend on the pending move, apparently, of Howard University away from the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, now bolting for the CAA. Stephen, thanks for taking the time to join us. Simply put, is the MEAC now officially done as a football conference?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on, Mark. We go way back, to the early days, so I definitely appreciate it. It's nobody wants to put that final nail in the coffin, but folks are in the vegetable, looking. It's a situation. They've been Howard has been pursued by the MEAC for. I started back last fall is when I heard about it, and even before.
You mean the CAA?
The CAA, right? So all these acronyms. The CAA has been after them at least since last fall, if not before then. Even before Hampton, and then of course A&T came along. Howard is a school that they had targeted. And there was some trepidation. For folks, at Howard about, not wanting to leave the MEAC in a state of, in a worse state than it is, with having lost, marquee programs such as Hampton, such as North Carolina A&T, such as Florida A&M University, as well as others. And so, this is a situation where they kind of waited things out. Obviously, they brought in Hampton, and then they brought in North Carolina A&T. But, if you talk to some people as industry insiders, those may not necessarily say that there were bait for them, but Howard is one that they've been wanting all along. And having, two programs that it sees itself as a peer in a lot of ways, in North Carolina A&T being a top public HBCU with FAMU, I believe, as well, but the largest for sure. And then Hampton being, Hampton, what it's been. I think it's a situation where they kind of found themselves, looking at the neighborhood, and that's no disrespect to everybody else who's still in the MEAC. But just kind of the way that it looks, on the surface, and what neighborhood they wanted to be a part of.
Have you been able to find out why Howard would make this move, especially, you're talking about a transition in the athletic department that's going to coincide with the transition in the administration of the university. And to me, I'm just wondering, when you had an advocate like Dr. Wayne A.I. Frederick, who was all about sports and the branding opportunities, how big of a setback could this be for Howard moving forward?
Well, I think, you have to look at it in a lot of ways. Obviously, as soon as Dr. Frederick's the announcement of Dr. Frederick's, position change came up, I posted a story about them being at a crossroads. And that was based off of, the things that I have heard from conversations from folks who are on Howard's campus as well as outside of it. And it is, I think Dr. Frederick has obviously been a key part of the MEAC since he's been there in 2014. If we go back to 2020 when North Carolina A&T left, and then right after FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, you'll go and see that there was a meeting that the MEAC held with the media, a press conference, and Dr. Dennis Thomas, the former commissioner of the MEAC, was there, but who did a lot of the talking was Dr. Frederick. And so after A&T left, he assumed the mantle over some of the mantles over the MEAC. They do him on a rotating basis, but he got a chance to see, I think, very clearly where the MEAC was and, the state of the schools that were in the MEAC at that point in time. So, I don't know how, I haven't talked to Dr. Frederick. I don't know how much that may have influenced his decision about where things were going. But, it is rather telling that as he's transitioning out, he's making this move. So, what did he see? What did he know? What was the temperature in the room that he gauged that would allow them to finally pull the trigger? I don't know. But then again, as you see, as he's transitioning out, this move is going to take place. So I think it's a lot of folks, having it's definitely going to be interesting. I did talk to the president over at Morgan State, Dr. Wilson. I emailed him to kind of ask, what his thoughts were back a couple months ago, and he told me that they were committed to the MEAC. They're a founding member and only ones left and all of that. But presidents talk, and presidents know things that are coming, and it's not the greatest PR move in the world to be the person that really, to a lot of folks, to be the person that really, especially if you're sitting president, to be the person that is kind of viewed as maybe sinking a ship, or at least putting it in a very precarious position. And so I can, I think at this point, and if you go through the Board of Trustees notes over the last year or so, I mean, you've even had you've had discussions at North Carolina Central, you've had discussions at Norfolk State, you've had discussions at Morgan State even about, the landscape of college athletics, about conference affiliation. So I think everybody is looking, everybody has, as the schools have left off and as things are changing, I think everybody's had a contingency plan. We look at even Delaware State back in 2020, we were a Bay of Pigs away from the Bay of Pigs away from from D-Day at that point.
I have an inside source that was a former coach over there. I'm not going to mention the sport, but he told me that Howard had initially made an overture. They were trying to get into the Patriot League, but it was at the time that they were facing APR violations. And with the Patriot League's emphasis on their academic, GPA, they didn't let Howard in because at that particular time, with them facing APR, it just wasn't a good look. I'd heard Morgan and Delaware State associated with the NEC. So these things have been sort of looming right now. And the question really becomes, do you drop football as a conference if you're the MEAC, but you still have enough teams to play basketball? Could they exist as a basketball-only league?
I think that is a possibility. I got to see the particulars about what that would be, but obviously the big thing over all of this, Celebration Bowl. Right. I'm hearing, those folks are definitely paying attention to what's going on because their contract right now is the MEAC and the SWAC. And so, as far as the NCAA goes, I mean, the auto bid situation is a non-factor for them. But there has been some talk, Chicago State is out there. I've been told the vote has been taken, but I haven't got anything official on that.
So Chicago State would be interested in playing a MEAC schedule then, potentially, if do they have football?
Well, they don't have football. They don't have football right now. They have done a feasibility study. And so, they are, my sources in the MEAC tell me they were a couple of weeks ago, they were in the vetting process. So I know that there is life there. I'm also hearing of a Division II school moving up that is not an HBCU that there maybe have been some discussions with. I don't know how deep those have been. So, the MEAC leadership is not sitting there idly by. They've definitely been making overtures to Virginia State, but I have it on pretty good authority of Virginia State is not looking to make that move right now. And I would think that, losing a Howard doesn't help the case for that at this point.
Stephen Gaither is our guy from HBCU Gameday, dropping the latest knowledge. Don't forget, check out hbcu.com for all the news that's fit to talk about from